Hello and welcome everybody to the latest Rectify review. Today we are taking a look at Bandai Namco's Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. It's the first mainline Ace Combat in a very long time. Despite the promise of an unknown sky, what it offers will be very familiar to longtime veterans of the series.
Then, finally, I was ready to break the sound barrier.
Ace Combat 7 ditches the real-world setting that they experimented with in Ace Combat Infinity and heads back into the odd world of Strange Real. A world where a mechanic, some ex-cons, a space elevator, and kingdoms all mix together to tell a completely bizarre but effective story. You play as a rookie pilot named Trigger. As a member of the Osean Air Force Defense Squadron, you find yourself at war with the Kingdom of Erosi. Or Rosea, I don't know, I feel like I pronounce it differently every time. At the center of the conflict is a space elevator and the promise of minerals it will bring the nation that controls it. After a tragic event early on, you get court-martialed and then thrown into jail with prisoners who are forced to fly broken planes to fool the Erosians into thinking the prison is an active military base. If you read that and got a little confused, don't worry. The plot is one of the more strange and convoluted stories in a series with its fair share of them. Despite the confusion and wackiness, the story works because it's very well told and the game always takes its very silly storyline very seriously, which is greatly to its benefit.
Right. You should have been my best with me, piece of junk. Should have built a return too.
The mix of real planes, drones, and fantastical countries and high-speed action set to the sounds of Keiki Kobayashi's absolutely incredible score always keeps the action moving forward, whether it's mundane tasks such as the briefing screen to epic dogfights with dozens of fighters and a thunderstorm. The music is always excellent. The sheer variety on Bombast was just as much a motivational factor to keep playing as the gameplay itself was. As for that gameplay, it's as good as it has always been. Just don't play with the beginner controls because they are dreadful and will make later missions a complete chore to play through. On the expert controls, you have an extreme level of precision and control, and after a few crashes into the ground, you'll be performing G-drifts or stalling loops like a pro. And as a pilot, you better get used to all of the moves in your arsenal. Even on the standard difficulty, some missions will really test your skill and patience, sometimes one of those things more than the other. Don't be surprised when the first Annihilation mission comes up and you're forced to retry over and over again until you find the perfect run to get through it. Missions average around 20 minutes in length and some don't checkpoint at all. Some of these kinds of missions feel very arbitrary in their design. 15 minutes to cause a certain amount of damage or else you'll fail, despite your squadron having an abundance of supplies and no enemy bearing down on you. The restrictions feel very dated in these missions and were the frustrating sore spots in an otherwise fun and exciting 20 mission campaign. In regards to the gameplay, I was happy with how it played but also a bit disappointed. Ace Combat 7 is not a revolution in the series despite being gone for so many years. Instead, it feels like more of the same and feels like it's playing it very safe in almost all aspects. It's not a complaint, however. Ace Combat has tried to change the core game a handful of times to pretty meddling results. The tried and true approach Ace Combat 7 takes feels like the right move for a franchise that fans have been waiting patiently for. It's also not a problem when the core gameplay of Ace Combat 7 is so incredibly satisfying. Getting accustomed to all of the different planes and the upgrade system in the aircraft tree is second nature, and all of these machines handle very differently. Despite the 8-hour completion time for the campaign, the real meat is in the replayability. Each of the 20 missions were unique, and it wrapped up before it started to get repetitive. Once you complete the game, you're free to tackle any of the missions in a multitude of ways. Free Flight allows you to take in the sights in peace, or you can opt to replay missions on the harder settings. The sheer amount of planes, upgrades, and missions will be plenty for fans of the series to dig into long after they finish the main story. Ace Combat 7 also features a multiplayer mode. It plays well enough and offers up an 8-player free-for-all dogfighting or 4v4 team deathmatch. The multiplayer was perfectly functional, but I would have preferred a co-op mode to help break up the action. The multiplayer is also a great way to make a lot of money quickly to use on the aircraft tree, but if you're a solo player here to just fly alone and experience the storyline, the multiplayer doesn't intrude on the experience in any way. Last but not least, I'd be remiss not to bring up the game's incredible visuals. My review copy was being played on the Xbox X, and the Unreal Engine 4 powered planes were always a marvel to behold. Some planes I bought just to see how they looked, and the explosions, weather effects, and the large variety of environments were a sight to behold. The game even spouts many small touches, such as the chilling effect when flying over cold mountains, or the way water looks when you fly in the middle of a rainstorm. One of my personal favorite small details is the way the music drops out when you fly through a thick cloud, only to return when you burst out of the fog at max speed. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown returns to the tried and true gameplay of its forefathers and delivers a familiar but solid return for the classic franchise. It is an 8 out of 10. Check out the full written review at rectifiedgaming.com. My review copy is on the Xbox X, but it is out for PS4, and it'll be out in PC in a couple of weeks. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the review, please like, comment, share it out, and I'll see all of you next time.